going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. June 4th, WBC middleweight championship bout between Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Sebastian Zbik. I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong. Overall, pretty much a matchup for the paper middleweight championship. Pretty much the belt that they took away from Sergio Martinez almost a year ago. If that, a year ago, a few months ago, whatever. Overall, to me, I just think two alright fighters fighting for a paper championship. If WBC made up a silver belt for the middleweight division, then they might as well just put these two fighters in the ring and make them fight each other. And I don't read boxing news all that much, but from what I've read is that HBO or whoever wants to set up a fight with the winner and Sergio Martinez. I don't know what to really say about that, because I think Sergio Martinez is just on another level compared to these fighters. And I would like to see Martinez fight, maybe a Felix Sturm. But Felix Sturm will never come back to the United States because the June 2004 bout with, I believe it was summer 2004 bout with Oscar De La Hoya when he was clearly robbed. So he's not coming back to the United States, and I'm sure Martinez may want to travel, but they need to find a neutral zone or something. That's the fight to make. Maybe even against Daniel Gile. Maybe that fight, but the winner of this fight, I don't know. It depends on how the winner looks. So, Chavez Jr. versus Sebastian Zbik. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong again. Chavez Jr. To win this fight, Chavez Jr. He's working. He's been training with Freddie Roach. Seen Chavez Jr. fight quite a few times, and I will say that even up to the John Dudley fight, I'm not impressed with Chavez Jr. And but I can understand why he fights the way he does. He's like 24, 25 years old, has no amateur experience, and he's going in and he's pretty much learning in each and every fight. I saw the fight with Matt Vanda about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. I seen that fight. He actually contemplated retirement. So, right after that fight, which was I believe it was a draw, and some had believed that Matt Vanda had won the fight, and he wanted to retire. So something that I do question with Chavez Jr. is his heart. Is his heart, in the sport, or is he doing it, to kind of live vicariously through his father? I've always debated that. But when he comes to the ring and he looks good, against C and, lower B level talent. He looks very good against those kinds of opposition. John Dudley, I'll admit, even though I like John Dudley, I knew he was a B level fighter. He lost to Billy Lyle, of all people, and it's like, who the hell is Billy Lyle? Anyway, but Chavez Jr. and pretty much I think with Chavez Jr., I don't even want to get into a long, elaborate discussion on it. We all have our own axiom of what we believe with Chavez Jr. I personally believe that Top Rank is just milking it out with him, using his name so that they can get X amount of dollars off of it. They've been, his Latin Furies have done quite well. They've been a moderate success. People continue to buy them. I remember 2-3 years ago, some idiot had told me Chavez Jr. was ready for what's his name? The guy in Kelly Pavlik. He once told me it was Kelly Pavlik, and another the guy in UK, Matthew Macklin, told me he was ready for Matthew Macklin and Kelly Pavlik. I kind of looked at him like he was nuts. But overall, Chavez Jr., I believe is a taller fighter. And this is pretty much for his type of style of fighting. This is the perfect opponent for him. Because Zbik is a guy that is very defensive. He keeps his elbows tucked. He's a very defensive-minded fighter. He's defensive minded. Um, he stands in kind of that shell, keeps elbows tucked perfectly, and covers up when the opponent's throwing. So in this fight, Chavez Jr. has to throw, you know, a bunch of punches for 12 rounds. This fight is about volume punching for Chavez Jr. This is not much of a learning experience for him. I know he's tough in the ring, and there's openings, in between Chavez's offense, but against Zbik, all he has to do is go in, use the jab to get inside and throw volume shots. And I'm only saying that because that's just what I see from Zbik. He when you throw punches at him, he stands in the shell, but when you stop throwing, that's when he starts to open up. But in this one, he wants to throw volume punch. It's all about volume punching. I don't even need to elaborate too much on it. Volume punching, move to, use the ring. Use the ring to set up little traps to set up more offense. This is just a pure onslaught offensive fight for Chavez Jr. That's what I think it is for him. I think it's a pure offensive fight. Don't need to say more for Chavez Jr. For Zbik, like I said, is defensive minded. He does take the lead. He's not defensive minded in terms of being a counter puncher. But he's a good counter puncher. He throws a very good counter left hook. He does take the lead very well with his jab. And he's one of those guys. He'll stand up in that shell, but something that he does do well when he's in the shell is he does move. He does use movement, when he's in the shell. And see, when you use movement and the fighter's throwing punches, that exerts more energy from the fighter to pretty much throw punches and move, because you're doing more than one thing. You're throwing volume punches and you're moving. It'll pretty much tire the hell out of you. Even if you're in the best of shape, it'll tire the hell out of you. So Sebastian Zbik, he's gonna be standing in that shell, but I think he's much smarter. I think he's much smarter, standing in that shell than I've seen any other fighters do. Now Winky Wright, that's a different story. Winky Wright was pretty much a beast. And I don't even call fighters a beast, but he was a beast in this shell. He would counter in between the shots, get back in it, counter in between, get back in it. Zbik does a lot differently. In this one, he doesn't want Chavez. What he does, the thing with I can get into with Zbik is that he does move so that fire does not get inside of his lead foot and just start wailing away. See, against Chavez, I think it's all counter punching, getting pretty much trying to get his shots in between Chavez's shots. Chavez does telegraph his punches. You kind of know when they're coming. So for Zbik in this fight, he has to get his shots off before Chavez Jr. He has to get his shots in between Chavez Jr.'s shots. Also, what he wants to do is he does want to come over Chavez's guard, come over his guard with the overhand right, counter over his jab, just pretty much just counter shots, getting off before Chavez Jr. and not letting Chavez Jr. get inside his lead foot and pounding away on him. So for this fight, who I think is going to win? Hard one to call, but I'm gonna go with me. I'm actually gonna go with Chavez Jr. And I just think Chavez Jr. is gonna be very. I think what's gonna look better for the judges in this fight is Chavez Jr.'s multiple shots. And I don't think and if he knocks out Zbik, he's probably gonna knock him out with a body punch. If he knocks him out, with a shot up top, I'll be surprised. I'll definitely be surprised due to the fact that you remember Troy Rowland back November 14th of 2009. Troy Rowland was punched out standing in front of him, and he couldn't even knock out Troy Rowland. So I don't know about Sebastian Zbik. But I'm going to go with Chavez Jr. by decision. But anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.